advising. I'm sure you guys have been waiting for that. And trust me, I mean, I think you're going to love it. I think you're going to love it. Some of you just fine. First thing first, could you guys please turn around your name tags? That way I can remember your names. Just kidding. No, so Heather will be able to see you and call you or whatnot. But yes, today's the first day of academic advising. But before we begin, I'm going to have Natalie come up and make a couple of announcements, and then I'll have a few more, and we'll get started.
All right. Hey everyone, how's everyone doing? Good. You excited for the timing party?
Yeah.
All right. So I just want to make a quick announcement about that. I've gotten a few questions about like people who need to come late because of class. Like that's totally fine. From 5 to 8, you can come and leave whenever you want. So yeah, so it's totally fine if you have class and you come late, or if you come and leave early. It's totally fine. So again, it will be from 5 to 8. And then the other announcement I had is, since Heather will be lecturing today, we'll have our first review session next week, and I'll be hosting it. And it'll be on Monday from 2 to 3, so right before a meeting. So let me know if you plan on going to that by Sunday at 8 p.m. so I know how many chairs to save. And it will be in the Chipotle Habit eating area, just like the review sessions last semester. So again, make sure to let me know if you can come Monday 2 to 3 to the review session by 8 p.m. on Sunday. Sound good? Any questions? All right.
Perfect. I just have a couple of reminders. I see that some of you already have your catalog on your desk. You should preserve ATC points, I think. But no, seriously, take those out because you'll need that throughout really every week. So you got to make sure that you have that with you. And then anything that Heather, any handout that she gives to you, make sure to hold on to. Those are great study guides. We're using the TV today. Our projector was not functioning, but we're working on that for future training, so hopefully by next week. But it might be small to see up here, but you have the PowerPoint in front of you, so use that to take notes on. And make sure to follow along. The page numbers are on there, so open your catalog, follow along, okay? So I'll be looking around. If I don't see you paying attention, I'm going to call you out. It's really important stuff, and I want to make sure that you understand it and get it. It's so much easier. Let me see, what other things? Any last minute advice to you guys? No? Anything at all? Any questions from you guys? All right. Well, Heather, the floor is yours.
Thank you very much. So, hello, and my name is Heather Saunders Harbaugh at the Office of Advising and Evaluations. I have, just to give you a little bit of background about myself, I've been working in higher ed for a little over 11 years now. Actually, it's a little over 12 years. I've been with SDSU for about, well, June will be 3 years. So this is my 3rd year that I'm able to do this training, and I'm really excited. SDSU is my 4th institution that I've worked at, so I'll leave that there. And I'll just say that we're going to kick today off by talking about what to expect for the next several months, or the next couple of months for this part of the training. So first of all, I just want to say I'm really excited to be able to work with all of you over the next couple of months. You guys play a very vital role at orientation. There's a lot of information that we need you to learn in order to help students understand graduation requirements and register for their classes. As an aside, I'm from the East Coast, I'm from Massachusetts, and I tend to say you guys, I'm working on it, but please know that I'm not meaning anything by it, and I am trying to work on it, so I'll try to taper that down. So during this training, we're going to be referring to your 2016-17 general catalog for most of the information, as well as various handouts. We're going to be covering the main tools that students have available to them, and these include the catalog, the degree evaluation, the MAP, which stands for Major Academic Plan, and the personal information sheet. The personal information sheet will only be used by first-time freshmen, and the MAP is going to prove to be more useful for first-time freshmen versus transfer students. But that's going to make more sense in the coming weeks and as we start to go over those tools. So the topics that we're going to cover today, the pop quizzes. I handed those back. They're actually underneath your PowerPoint. We're not going to go over these because they don't count in your overall score. They're just kind of a frame to see where you're at now. It's also to give you an idea of how I will be grading the quizzes. So we're going to talk more about the quizzes, but it's just sort of an idea to kind of show you how I'm gonna be grading and when you're gonna get partial credit and when you won't get credit at all. We're gonna be talking about the training outline. We're gonna be talking about the goals of this training and what my expectations are. And then we're gonna review catalog terms, and we're gonna have an activity that goes along with that. So, here's our outline, and I want you to refer to it for the topics. It breaks down each week, each session, and the topics that we'll be discussing during each session. It has my contact information on top there, so please contact me if you have any questions from training, or if you have questions about your own personal record. I know that this training can sometimes bring up questions about your own personal record. We don't want to cover that in session, but feel free to reach out to me and I can help you out with any questions you may have. So on the left is, for the spreadsheet there, is the date and the session number, and then the right has the topics that we're going to go through. So let's talk about goals. So the purpose of this training is for you to be able to assist our new students at orientation. So your goals after this training, we want you to know SDSU's graduation and general education requirements, university policies and deadlines, and the campus resources and advising tools that are available to assist students. Because there's so much information for you to know, we want you to be treating this time every week as a class. We don't expect you to memorize the information, but rather I want you to know where to find the correct information. So we're going to have quizzes every week. They will be open book, open notes. And that's because during orientation you'll have your catalog. So the quizzes are an opportunity for you to start learning where to look in the catalog. Each quiz will be on the previous week's information you learned. So it's not cumulative, it's just on the last week's session. The final is cumulative, it's also open book, open notes. So there'll be 6 quizzes and a final. Starting next session, we'll start with our first quiz, and then each session after that, there'll be a quiz that covers the content from the previous session. So as an example, next week in session 2, we'll start with quiz 1, and that'll cover session 1, today's material. And for each quiz, you'll have 20 minutes to complete it, and every quiz is open book, open notes. The passing grade for every quiz and for the final is 80%. For the quizzes, if you do not achieve 80% the first time, you will be allowed 1 makeup exam. And then whatever score you get on that makeup is what you have. There will not be a makeup for the final. So once we have the quizzes to review, we'll take the quiz, so a maximum of 20 minutes, open book, open notes. And we want you to know that there's a method to my madness with the time allotted for each quiz. So these quizzes are really our only way to be sure that you are retaining this information. So my best advice to be successful on each quiz is to study. Don't rely on the fact that it's open book, open notes. They're set up in a way that if you are just relying on your notes and you're not reviewing the material in between, you're not going to be very successful on the quizzes. So that's my best advice there. And mainly that's because by the time we get to NSO this summer, it's going to be important to quickly know how to get to the information. Do you answer the question? Do you refer the student? What do you need to do with that student? And then quickly move on to the next student, because there'll be a lot of questions. So if you have a firm grasp on the content from the previous week, these quizzes will be really easy for you, and by the time you get to orientation, you'll have that solid foundation. So after you take the quiz, we'll collect the quizzes, and then we'll pass out the prior week's quiz. We'll take about 15 to 20 minutes to review that quiz. So as another example, in session 3, we'll take quiz 2, and then we'll hand back quiz 1, and we'll review. Every week I'm going to be switching up the way we review the quiz. So sometimes I'm going to be asking for individuals or the whole class to participate, and I'll explain how each review is going to go. So I want you to stay in good communication with your TIs. If some or most or all of you are having a hard time understanding a particular session or a topic, be sure to let the TIs know and to let me know. I can easily prepare a review for the whole class if it's needed. Okay, so in the past years, due to the feedback that we got from the rookies, there was a need for a review for the first 4 weeks of information. So that was easy for us to put together. Those rookies were able to take it home like a take-home quiz. So we can easily do that. So knowing that you have a quiz each week, we want you to come to these trainings prepared, just as you would for a class. And when we say being prepared, we want you to have reviewed everything we've gone over. Remember to ask questions if you need to clarify something, and again, you have my contact information in your PowerPoint. We want you to tab and highlight information in your catalog so that you can find it easier during quizzes and at orientation. So, I want to introduce, this is new this year. All right, so this colorful box, my stab at creativity, is the opportunity drawing box. So basically, there's a box and there's a few different ways to get your name into the box, so we'll call them entries. So every time you do one of the following things, you'll get an entry into the box. Every time you score a 90% or higher on any quiz, any review if we have one, and the final, you'll get 1 entry. For the quizzes, you'll only get an entry if you get a 90% or higher on the first time you take the quiz. Not a makeup won't count in that. Again, a stab at creativity on my part. Every week, I will be wearing a pair of fun socks. I'm calling it Wacky Sock Wednesday. And then I'll be showing you the socks when I introduce the topic for the week. So at the end of training, when we do the final review, when we go over the final, as a team, you will be answering a true-false quiz that will have socks and a topic covered. So I'll put the session number and the date, and every person on the team that gets the most correct will get an entry into the box. So work as a team, right? Every person on the team that gets the most challenge points will get to put in an entry. There may be other opportunities to enter your name by answering a question correctly or completing an activity the fastest, and I'll be announcing those as we go forward. At the end of the training, I will draw a name, and that person will receive a gift card to Aztec Shops. So obviously, the more entries you're able to have, the better your opportunity to have your name selected. And to start, I put everyone got an entry in the box. Okay, so everyone gets to start with 1. Socks, ready? Everybody see?
No.
Do you? They're stars and stripes. I feel like I have to show everything.
At least I'll stop.
This is a little awkward. I'll have to figure something else out. All right. Got him? Okay. All right, I'll figure something else out. Maybe I'll have to jump on a chair or something. All right. So how do you learn? So the veterans that sat where you sit now, they were rookies too, set the bar high for all of you here today. So here's what you can do. Follow along in training, take notes, ask questions, be awake and alert during our class time, and review each week and come to training prepared. Do I have any psych majors in the room? 1? Okay. Anyone taking Psych 101, even if you're not a psych major? Few? Okay. So some of you should recognize this, maybe others will as well. So let's talk about Maslow's hierarchy of needs. So Maslow's hierarchy of needs, down there at the bottom, is the most basic need, and then as you go up the pyramid, the needs become more complex. So what I want you to do during training is to take out Maslow's hierarchy of needs and instead insert SDSU issues, questions, and challenges that students face. So the bottom of the pyramid is